Your Excellency, Mrs. Nadia Fattah, Minister of Economy and Finance of the Kingdom of Morocco, Mr. Edo Kosia Menouve, President of the African Stock Exchanges Association, ASEA, Mr. Kamal Muqdad, Chairman of the Casablanca Stock Exchange, CEOs of African stock exchanges, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to be part of the 24th ASEA Annual Conference to discuss our African capital markets and the key drivers for their emergence. Over these 2 days panels, eminent experts from the Asia community will share their insights and highlight the crucial role of capital markets in the development of Africa, particularly in a post-COVID recovery context. Therefore, I want to thank you all for your efforts and contributions to deepen, broaden, and improve the growth of capital markets on our continent, especially through the African Stock Exchange Association. In 1993, when ASEA was established, only 5 African stock exchanges existed in Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. In contrast, there are now 29 African stock exchanges, including 2 regional stock exchanges in West and Central Africa. Today, ASEA member exchanges have reached a market capitalization of $2 trillion, representing more than 1,100 large African-listed companies. Hence, ASEA has the potential to transform the African capital markets landscape through its deeply impactful projects, such as the African Exchanges Linkage Project. This project, that is jointly sponsored by ASEA and the African Development Bank, will establish a cross-border order routing platform between brokers of 7 African exchanges for its initial phase, thus stimulating Pan-African investment flows, as well as providing liquidity and depth to African markets. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa's strong economic performance in the last 2 decades has attracted the interest of international investors. For example, according to the IMF, amongst the 4 countries with a growth rate of above 5%, 2 were in Africa. A further 16 out of 35 countries experiencing positive growth are also located in Africa. In addition, African economies have showed a certain resilience during the COVID pandemic, as GDP contraction was limited to -2.1% compared to -4.4% for global economy. Hence, African stock exchanges have a key role to play in financing future economic growth of the continent and offer real opportunities for developing the financial sector as a whole. Indeed, one of the most pressing issues for Africa is to channel financial flows towards productive investment. As an example, the African Development Bank estimates that Africa's infrastructure financing needs could reach around $170 billion per year by 2025, with funding gaps of up to $108 billion per year. Accordingly, capital markets will naturally be called upon to supplement existing public and banking resources and to bridge the huge financing gaps. To efficiently play this role, African capital markets should work collectively to strengthen their competitiveness and attract global investment flows, to promote their resilience, to create opportunities and address the needs of various stakeholders. As a capital market regulator, I believe that the success of financial markets relies heavily on the quality of their regulatory frameworks. Therefore, relevant market reform should aim at improving market oversight, diversifying financial product services while widening the investor and issuers base, addressing the issue of market fragmentation through legal harmonization and cross-listing at regional level. Much needs to be done, as African stock exchanges are facing significant constraints like limited diversity of financial instruments and a limited number of listing stock. In addition to market illiquidity, high transaction costs also prevent further development of exchanges. African capital markets should also work to address local specific issues, among which providing financial solutions to SMEs that constitute the bulk of the economic ecosystem, as well as improving financial inclusion and literacy among the population. In addition to these issues, there are overarching global themes that have become paramount aspects to address when thinking strategically about market development. First, fintech or technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, and big data, among others, are deeply transforming business models, and financial services are no exception to that. While these technologies have the potential to ease access to financial services, improve financial inclusion and literacy, they constitute a challenge that all markets and regulators have to cope with. Second, sustainable finance and the aligning of financial sectors on sustainable development have also become a necessity to meet the SDGs agendas and the country's commitments to address climate change. All these challenges present opportunities that should be leveraged for developing our markets. Developing innovative solutions will require extensive collaboration between African regulators, exchanges, and other policymakers. I am convinced that initiatives like ASEA help us coordinate our efforts to address common issues and challenges. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you productive discussions throughout these 2 days.